Focus Daily, everyone. Good morning. First of all, I'd like to begin this show by giving all praises due to the Most High and His Son, Jesus Christ. It is through them that I am being sent with this truth as a chance for redemption for all, including myself. All right, 1892. Political parties began to swing in three different directions. With the introduction of a new party referred to as the Fusionist. See, let me explain this. There was two parties at that time, similar to now, the Republicans and the Democrats. Within the Republican Party was a small group of Aboriginal, original, indigenous, whichever word you prefer to use, Afro-Americans who had a group called the Populist Party. Today we're going to speak a little bit about this Populist Party and how through deceit and undercover trickery, the Democratic Party began to introduce their own agents into this Populist Party, swaying the Republican Populist Party in a Democratic direction. This undercover party became known as the Fusionists, as they slowly began to eradicate the will of the people and bring everyone under the will of this new democratic, demonic government. Once again, before we get into this politics, this is about the truth being given to the people. This is about giving people an opportunity to come back home to the will of the Most High so that His will may be done. It is through this truth that hopefully people will begin to open their eyes and realize how we all fell from grace, following the whims and ideals of foreigners, foreign invaders. All right, let's check out a little bit about this Populist Party. Just bear with me, folks. I know politics ain't the most interesting thing, but, however, this is the truth of the people's fall. All right, Populist Party. United States, the People's Party, also known as the Populist Party, or simply, Populists, were a left-wing, agrarian, populist 19th century political party in the United States. The Populist Party emerged in the early 1890s as an important force in the southern and western United States, but collapsed after it nominated Democrat Williams Jennings. Yeah, earlier we spoke about Williams Jennings, and here he is again. What this guy was basically trying to introduce to the people was for them to willfully give up their gold rights and accept this new form of economy known as fiat, or debt slavery. We're going to get more and more into intricate details about the debt slavery and the fiat system. But first we must introduce the key players and the situations that led to the enslavement of all indigenous, Afro-Americans, and Gentiles in all. All right. Democrat William Jennings Bryan in the 1896 United States presidential election. A rump faction of the party continued to operate into the first decade of the 20th century, but never matched the popularity of the party in the 1890s. So in the 1890s, this People's Party, which was mainly run by Afro-American indigenous people who had the birthright to determine the politics of the land, it was really popular and they was making a lot of change. So these fusionists insisted on thwarting their attempts. I'm trying to find the right words, folks. The Populist Party's roots lay in the Farmers' Alliance, an agrarian movement that promoted economic action during the Gilded Age, as well as the Greenback Party, an earlier third party that had advocated fiat money. Uh-oh, here we go. We're getting into it. The success of the Farmers' Alliance candidates in the 1890 election, along with the conservatism of both major parties, encouraged Farmers' Alliance leaders to establish a full-fledged third party before the election of 1892. The ocular demands laid out the populist platform: collective bargaining, federal regulations of railroad rates, an expansionary monetary policy, and a sub-treasury plan that requires the establishment of federally controlled warehouses to aid farmers. Other populist endorsed measures included bimetallism. Let's talk about this bimetallism. All right, bimetallism is a monetary standard in which the value of the monetary unit is defined as equivalent to certain quantities of two metals, typically gold and silver, creating a fixed rate of exchange. See, during that era, money was actually backed by, I don't want to say something of value, because our souls are very valuable, but it was actually backed by precious metals, gold being the main one, silver being secondary. But this Democratic Party wanted to take the people's minds off the gold so they could continue to export it through private islands, through their railroads, and just straight up steal it. So they had to subvert the people's minds away from the true way of doing things, the godly way of doing things, and lead people to this deceit and trickery that we find ourselves in the midst of today. A graduated income tax, direct election of senators, a short work week, and establishment of a postal savings system. These measures were collectively designed to curb the influence of monopolistic corporate and financial interests and empower small businesses, farmers, and laborers. All right. Let's get into a short selection by William H. Schaff. The Negro, a.k.a. the Afro-American, and the Populism, a Kansas case study. One of the problems that has most intrigued and perplexed the students of populism is the extent of the Negro participation in the third party movement. See, it perplexes people because due to the fake history that they have taught us in the educational system, our minds only can see Afro-Americans as being slaves, when really we were the true owners. This was our birthright. This is our birthright that was given to us by the Lord God himself. The question is important because in its finer moments, populism represented a powerful ideal, the belief that men of different races but common interests could join together to secure economic and political justice, because the failure of that ideal in a large measure caused the failure of populism. The theme of a shared self-interest loomed large as an explanation to why the populists courted the Negro. It was the other way around. The Afro-Americans, due to the Lincoln era, agreed to work with the foreigners in order to have a more peaceful, understanding economy or lifestyle. Because farmers and laborers of both races suffered a common oppression. Tom Watson says, "It is to the interest of a colored man to vote with the white man. Political organizations in the third party proceeded on this assumption. 2 Negroes were appointed to the state executive committee of the Texas People's Party. 5 of the 10 members campaign committee in Greene County, Georgia, were Negroes, and the Arkansas state platform pledged to elevate the downtrodden, regardless of race. So, there you have it, people. The Afro-Americans, through Lincoln's leadership, agreed to accommodate the foreigners, agreed to participate in the system that they designed, unknowingly realizing that this system was designed to bring forth their downfall. So, introducing the Fusionist Party. We'll get a little bit more into this Fusionist Party later, but we have to take this as small steps at a time, try to break it down and make it as simple as possible for the people to understand. But until then, Focus Daily, y'all.